Hi there. In this video, I'll be showing you how to add your own custom variables that you have made into the Grass workflow. So now this is going to be a little bit long tutorial because I'll be going over into the in-depth systems of how Grass works. Now, the base variables that Grass comes with already has some of the main variables that we need. So anything that we need could be boiled down to these core data types. But in some cases, you might want your own inventory structure or something. So in this case, I have created my own custom structure called an inventory that I want to save. So this structure, it has nothing but a foot count, an arrow count, and a mana portion that all has integer variables. Now, I could save these separately itself using Grass, using the integer add integer option, but I want my own structure so that I can keep everything contained. So this is simple. So what you have to do first is we have to go to the Grass folder, and in the essentials you'll find the save container. So this is where we have to first start our journey. In the save container, I'm going to add a variable. I will call it inventory struct, and this should be a value of string mapped to my inventory. So now what this did is I have an inventory that I can give a variable name. So now, for example, this could be a main character inventory or something like that. But we won't be doing this here. So I made this variable. Next, what I have to do is inside of saving, I have to go to make save package struct. Now before going here, I have to go to this container struct. So this is the save container where we just added the variable. Next, I have to go to the struct called the container struct. Here also I have to add that variable that I made earlier, inventory struct, which will be a string mapped to my inventory structure. Okay, we're halfway there. Now all I have to do is I have to come to make save package struct, then I just drag and drop inventory struct, compile and save it, and then I'll come to loading, and then I'll do make container. Then I'm going to push this, and I'm going to bring my inventory struct in here. I'm going to pull out this variable coming from the break container struct. I'm going to plug it in, and that's it. Now you could add your own function, so you could directly call this variable itself, but for neatness purposes I'll just add a function. I'll call it add inventory struct variables or inventory struct value, and this will be in the saving group. So what I'll do here is I'll grab this inventory struct. So I pressed Ctrl and I brought it in, and then you can add, and this you can just drag and drop to create it as a function argument input. So now let's add a loading function. So here I'll do get inventory struct value. So I'm going to drag and drop inventory struct here. I'm going to say find, and I'll drag out a return node. This will be in our return node, and this will be in here. Now for debug purposes, what I do is I have a select string, and then I do a print string, then I return this value and put in the boolean value for the index. And if it couldn't find, I'll say could not find, and then I'll append a string, maybe bring this over here, then I'll just say could not find this key, and I'll put it in false, and I'll give this a category of loading. That should be it. Now if I go to my player, all I have to do is I'll create a variable called an inventory, which will be of type my inventory. Now next, whenever I have to save this inventory, all I have to do is I'll bring out my save container, and then I'll drag it out. I'm going to say add inventory struct value. Then I can add my inventory value right here. Then I can make the little string as I've mentioned in the previous tutorials. So I'm going to say my inventory. I'm going to copy this for loading. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it out from this variable, which is coming from the event load game, because now I'm creating a loading function. So I'm going to say get inventory struct value. I'm going to plug my little string over here, and I'll plug my struct over here, and that's it. That's how you can add your own variables. If you plan it correctly, you can condense a large amount into a struct, and then you can follow this tutorial to save that large amounts. Cheers.